Hello and welcome to what is a Grand Tour trailer analysis. So we're about a month and a half away from the launch of the Grand Tour, and it doesn't just look to be filled with incredible supercars, but also the traditional hijinks and shenanigans that come par with Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May. Here are all the little things you might not have picked up in your first watch of this trailer. If you haven't seen the full trailer yet, I'll leave a link in the comments section below. First up is a rainy, dreary track in France. You can tell this is France because there are French words in the background, and also because they were spotted filming in France. These cars can be a little hard to make out from the angle, but they appear to be three old Maserati bi-turbos. The next scene shows James May with a sling over his arm. How he got this injury? I don't know, that's for us to find out later. And Richard Hammond has got a goat. No, not that kind of goat. He's got a goatee, like a beard, yeah. Here we've got Morocco again. We know from the last trailer that they shot a film featuring the Alfa 4C, the Mazda Miata and the Xenos E10 at Atlanta Studios in Ouarzazate, Morocco. We don't know exactly what they've got planned, but since it's mostly everyone from the old Top Gear, you can expect it to be some sort of comparison test, since it's very much dry, mountainous desert. I'm thinking it might be similar to the old Middle East special, in which the gang compared a Miata, a BMW Z3, and a Fiat Barchetta. Now, the next scene shows the crowds, and a tent basically, because, well, the Grand Tour is basically a car-travelling circus. Now this scene is just really confusing, okay? So, Clarkson, Hammond and May took a Dodge Charger Hellcat, a Rolls-Royce Dawn, and an Aston Martin DB11 to Florence, Italy. This makes no sense, because how would they be comparing them, or what kind of road test could you do with a Dodge Charger and a Rolls Royce? They're completely different. At which point, Clarkson seemed to invite every single person in Italy to join them. Monaco again, and Clarkson says, looking good is more important than looking where you're going. And he's right. James Hunt looked his best around the 1978 Formula 1 season, and everyone remembers him. No one remembers the guy who actually won the World Drivers' Championship. It was Mario Andretti. So there we have it, a little Formula 1 Easter egg. Now, here are some cars, some pretty gorgeous, wonderful, incredible cars. They tested the McLaren P1, the Ferrari LaFerrari and the Porsche 918 at the Algarve circuit in Portugal. Hammond says this could be so expensive. Presumably he's talking about the inevitable crash. The dead ship hints at one of the less talked about, but still very awesome trips on the Grand Tour. A few months ago, Clarkson posted on Instagram that he was in Namibia, and the shot sure as hell looks like Namibia's infamous Skeleton Coast, where dense fog and heavy surf has wrecked multitudes of ships. Now this looks like an amphibious Land Rover that I've seen previously in Top Gear magazine, so maybe this is their way of getting back at their rivals, who knows. Again, the Hellcat, Rolls and Aston driving through Italy. I still don't understand this yet, but I'm not complaining. Now I think these are Mayor's Manxes. Well, I think. They are filming with these in Jordan, which is as good a place as any to be idiots in desert buggies. And now for an eco-friendly Land Rover. A Land Rover Defender made out of trees and plants. That's one way to save the Land Rover Defender and the world at the same time. Later in the trailer we see a hideous, stubborn beast joined by Hammond, May and a camel. This could also be a reference to Lawrence of Arabia, which is a great film which features the protagonist handling a camel a bit better. Earlier this year, the crew was spotted attempting to make a car-based reef off the coast of Barbados. A giant crane and some old car shelves, but that's one way to do it. Now I'm going to sound a bit nerdy here and a bit weird, but the colours seem a lot more richer and vibrant on the Grand Tour compared to like the grunge of the old Top Gear, where everything was kind of like weird tinted yellow or black. Now it's kind of the vibrant oranges and reds and yellows, all that kind of stuff. It's just looks more colourful and appealing. Now, from nerdiness to, well, pure stupidity, there's a Challenger tank blowing stuff up in the English countryside. And to be honest, the explosion, shown later in the trailer, a few seconds later, I think is blowing up a Ford Transit van. Maybe the tank shot the Ford Transit van. It's difficult to tell. Now, this next scene shows Hammond, Clarkson and May wearing army uniforms. Clarkson says it's like that Tom Cruise movie. Hammond replies with cocktail, which is nowhere near an army movie. this kind of, I'm thinking this is something to do with when Clarkson visited a British Army base, and he was holding two kind of light lunches in like enormous wicker baskets. Maybe they're trying to prove life in the army isn't so bad. Other cars shown are the very fast Aston Martin Vulcan and the BMW M4 GTS. Now this spinny scene with the yellow car in the middle, the yellow car appears to be a late model of the MGB, a classic British roadster. This could be compared with the Rolls-Royce Dawn in some kind of roadster comparison test thing. Hammond is in a boat. This scene shows a Challenger Hellcat 707 horsepower captured from a helicopter at very close range. This is the only photo I will ever show of Jeremy Clarkson in a wet t-shirt, and we will never show another here on Right Gear Gaming. An Alpha 4C is shown power sliding across the screen, and then to our amazement, the title The Grand Tour appears. It is then followed by kind of text showing it's on Amazon, and then Clarkson fails to start an Aston Martin Vulcan. Well, that's all I've managed to gather from this trailer. I hope the analysis helped you work out what's actually going on. I will hopefully be watching the series, probably a bit later than I should, but hey ho, it's on Amazon, it costs a bit of money. I need to make some money. So, thanks for watching, it's been great, and on that bombshell, it's time to end, so goodbye.